Hello. Just the second, or not the second, about 5 minutes ago, I got home from work. I had an early shift today, so I started very early, and as a consequence, I finished early, and I had a package waiting for me in the mailbox. I know what this is because I made a little deal with a guy on one of the CD trading groups that I'm on Facebook. I'll explain it when I open it. So this is a New Zealand postage bag, economy tracked. I don't know how much it was. I gave $10 for postage, but I think he said it was more like $6. But I said, take a little bit more in case it's extra. And also the CDs I bought, in my opinion, were so. I'll talk about that when I open it, so you will see what I'm talking about. So I have kind of a mental list of a wish list, I guess, but it's not a written list. It's a wish list in my mind of CDs that I really want, and that if I saw them even at a more expensive price in a store, secondhand or new, I would probably pay that money to get it. And so I think it was about a week ago now, week 10 days. This guy posted up. It was quite late at night. He posted up a list of CDs he had for sale, and the list was. There were so many things on there. I could have bought about 10 or 20 of the CDs. I was so like, no one usually when someone posts up a good list of CDs for sale or trade, they go quite quickly. And so no one had commented on the post and no one had liked it. And it had been there for about kind of 20 minutes. And I was kind of like falling over myself. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy, like I don't want to lose my opportunity. So I didn't even read through the list properly. Because after I'd sent him a message and kind of made a deal with him, I read through the list again. I was like, oh shit, I should have got those as well. But anyway, I'll show them before I speak anymore. Well, you can see that symbol there. You might recognize that. Now, these were $10 each, these CDs, $10 New Zealand, which I did that calculation on one of the videos last week. That's about half in US dollars, so it'll be about $5 US. These are secondhand from the guy's collection. Aphex twin, selected ambient, works 85 to 92. Now, there, as far as I know, I'll actually check this after I show the other ones, but I'll talk about it in a second. Boards of Canada tomorrow's harvest. Now, if you watched any of my Boards of Canada videos, I did 2 of them, didn't I? You'll know that I already own this. Well, I already owned it, I should say in the past tense. But when I was living in South Korea, before we did kind of like the 2 weeks before we left there in our family car, this was in the CD player, and the CD player got jammed. The CD wouldn't come out of the CD player, so I had to leave the country. We sold the car to my sister-in-law, and it was stuck in the car, stuck in the stereo, and so I only have the case. And so I've been wanting to rebuy this because this is probably, I don't know, it's hard to pick a favorite Boards of Canada album, but I certainly like it a lot. And you can see, I don't think my one has this. This is the kind of postcards. I'm pretty sure my copy didn't have these. So this is something a little bit different. That's cool. So tomorrow's harvest by Boards of Canada looks like to be in excellent condition. Their most recent album from 2013, and something that I have been looking for a few years and never thought I'd actually ever find it. I always sort of have to end up buying it off the internet second hand from overseas or something. This is Slint, the Spiderland album from 1991. Now, I assume that's what the CD looks like. It's a very bare. God, there doesn't have much in the way of liner notes either. So it's quite an iconic album cover iconic if you know, I guess, if you're interested in alternative music and Slint in particular. It's the band swimming in a quarry. And this is just a brilliant, brilliant album. It's an album that in 1991 when it came out, through the 90s, I had heard the name Slint, but I never actually listened to that band. But it would have been about the early 2000s. I think I downloaded some of the stuff and I was kind of blown away by it. It kind of is like one of those bands that kind of perfectly encapsulates alternative rock of the late 80s, early 90s without being grungy. Because a lot of those bands, when we think of early 90s, we think of grunge, inverted commas, but these guys didn't really veer that way. They were more kind of, I guess, post-punk. And I love everything about that. I love the sound of it. I love the sound of the guitar, of the drums. I love the way it's mixed. So I'm very, very happy to have a physical copy of this, something that I've wanted probably for about 20 years, kind of off and on, not something I've been searching for 20 years, but certainly something I would have, if I'd seen it around, I would have bought it. Now, let me just check something. Hang on. Okay, I see what it's at. So there's two selected ambient works. There's volume 1 and volume 2. And I assume this one I have here is volume 1. Volume 2 is actually the one I had in my mind. However, I'm happy to have this one. Volume 2 is actually is a double disc. So this one came out in 1992, and they both releases have got extreme critical acclaim. And like 5 stars across the board. I've heard most of the stuff on this before. I recognize a lot of the track titles like Extel, Ptolemy, Helios Fan, Green Calyx. I think I've heard that as well. Probably heard all of it on time or another. So very happy to have these 3, especially these 2, because these are 2 that I've never owned. This is one that I've owned that kind of recompletes my Boards of Canada collection. But these were, like I said, were $10 each, so $30 for the 3 CDs, and then I paid $10 for postage. The guy lives outside of my city. I'm not going to dox him, but I'll show you the city. No, actually, no, I can't help but dox him. So he lives in Palmerston North. So Palmerston North is about 6 or 7 hours drive from where I live in Auckland. So postage in something like this is going to cost at least $5. So I kicked him $10 just because kind of like I couldn't believe he was selling these things for so low that I was like, I almost felt like going, mate, you could get way more for these, but I didn't want to kind of talk myself out of a deal. So the other things he had on the list, he had the Godspeed You Black Emperor discography, which I didn't see when I first looked at the thing. He had the other Boards of Canada albums, which I already own, at least 1 copy of, some of them 2 copies. What else did he have? There was a few other things, I can't remember now. But, what was it? There was a few other things. And like I said, if I'd kind of gone through and had maybe more money to play with, I probably could have dropped easily $100 on stuff there. But to get these 3 for 30, or let's say 40 with postage. So what's that? That works out at $13 each. I'm very, very happy to have them. Key parts of something that I wanted to have in my collection. It's not often that I get things that I really wanted to be part of my collection, to make my collection what I want it to be. Often it's just things that I've picked up by chance, or just kind of, just because they're there from secondhand shops, which are of course very, very cheap, but not always things that I necessarily have always wanted. But these are things that I have absolutely wanted for a long time, and so overjoyed to have them. So yeah, that's two now, isn't it? Because I had a video last week where I got a new CD from the US, which was a very rare thing, and now this is another thing. And so this year, well, actually, I guess last year as well, but I'd say in the last 2 years, I've been kind of buying more stuff from the Facebook CD groups, because there's kind of like a core of about 20 users, or what do you want to call them? 20 guys, because they are all guys, it's all males. 20 guys on there who kind of post things, and you get to kind of know the different, just by their names, you know, of the kind of music they post and also the kinds of things they sell, and you can kind of trust them. There have been a few cases of people taking the money and not delivering. Like there was one, a guy, I think he was the admin of the group, and he didn't end up posting it, and it was for no particular reason. He was just couldn't be bothered to do it. And there was another one more recently. This woman had posted, which should have been a sign, isn't it? Because like I said, it's almost always guys. So a lady posted up some, she called them shops, like old shop stock. So they were brand new from a shop, I think from the early 2000s, and she was selling them. And again, she didn't deliver. I didn't buy any from these two people, but these trading groups are good ways to get things. You know, I'd say 90% of the posts are just the same stuff you see in the secondhand shops, you know. But if you kind of keep a good eye on it, you do get some good stuff. The things I got, I've bought off these Facebook trading groups. I got some DJ Crush. I got Marillion earlier this year, which I'm meant to make a video about that. I got 3 Marillion albums, which I want to talk about, but I feel I haven't listened to them enough to kind of give a good appraisal. But that was off a Facebook group as well. A really good deal. What else have I bought off Facebook? But yeah, I'm finding it's a good way of kind of, you know, making a good community of people interested in the same things, and a group of guys you can trust, and they're all kind of doing the same thing I do. They all kind of go around the op shops, the secondhand shops, and they buy up things and then kind of sell them off, the things, extras or ones that they do want or don't want, and it's kind of works out well. And like I said, it's kind of building a community of like-minded people. So yeah. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Can't really say much else about them. 3 brilliant albums. Got for a bargain, in my opinion. All right. Thank you for watching.